All right, today we are diving into a really powerful framework for finding your purpose, your true voice. It's this idea of the roar within. And honestly, it's all about unleashing the person you were always meant to be. So let's jump right in with the core idea that started it all.
This right here, this is the heart of our entire conversation today. Just think about it for a second. A lion's roar isn't something it has to learn or earn, right? It's born with it. It's a fundamental part of its identity. And just like that lion, your purpose, your own personal roar, isn't something you have to go out and achieve. It's something you just need to discover that's already inside of you.
So this roar we're talking about, it's your one true voice. It's the real, undiluted you that was there from the very beginning. It's not the version of you that worries or doubts itself. No, it's the version that, as the author puts it, can live life to the absolute fullest. But what happens when that roar gets silenced? Well, that's the big problem so many of us face. We start living a life that isn't really ours, one that's guided by insecurity and doubt instead of that powerful inner voice.
And you know, it almost always boils down to this one single haunting question: am I enough? When we let this question take over our thoughts, we just get stuck. It's like we're on a safari, as the book describes it, trying to find the answer. But way too often, we just get lost.
And this self-doubt, it shows up in some really common ways. You know, feeling afraid, insecure, or just constantly trying to please everybody else. The author of the source material even talks about his own experience with this, feeling completely lost at age 44 because he was living for what other people thought. He compared it to chasing too many rabbits at once. You know the feeling? You're running around like crazy, but you end up catching nothing.
And this brings us right to the central challenge, the journey to rediscovering that roar, to finding our purpose. It all begins by realizing that most of us are asking the completely wrong question. The answer isn't out there somewhere. It's found by shifting our perspective inward.
For the author, this big shift came during one pivotal conversation. He had read the book Wild at Heart, and it really impacted him. So in 2004, he gets to meet its author, John Eldredge. He goes up to him and basically confesses that he feels like he's lost the truest part of himself. And what Eldredge said next, well, it changed everything.
And this slide just illustrates that turning point so brilliantly. Eldredge told him to stop asking the old question, what does the world need from me? Because that question just leads to a life of trying to please others. Instead, he proposed a new, way more powerful question. What makes me come alive?
Now get this, because this is the logic behind that new question. The world doesn't need more people running on empty, just trying to meet a bunch of external expectations. What the world truly needs is people who are passionate, energized, and fully alive. Your greatest contribution is going to come from your most authentic, vibrant self.
And that new question, well, that becomes the solution. It's the key that unlocks the door to your purpose because it forces you to look inward and connect with that innate passion, that roar that's just been waiting to be heard.
So after asking himself this new question, the author had a huge breakthrough. He realized his purpose, his one thing, was to be a warrior poet. Now for him, this meant fighting for the hearts of men and writing about adventure. He found the thing that made him come alive.
So here's the crucial point. Your one thing isn't just some mild interest or a weekend hobby. No, it's a deep internal drive. It's that thing that roars so loudly inside of you that ignoring it feels completely impossible. You feel like you have to do it.
Okay, so let's distill this whole thing into a clear, actionable path. First, stop asking what the world needs from you. Second, you gotta start asking what makes you come alive. Third, identify that undeniable one thing. And finally, live from that place of passion. That right there is the journey to finding your roar.
Okay, so this brings us to the final takeaway, which is where we turn this entire framework back onto you. It all really comes down to one big question that only you can answer. And here it is. This is the question we want to leave you with. What is that one thing that roars inside of you? The one thing you feel so compelled to do? The one thing that makes you feel the most authentically and powerfully alive? Answering that question, well, that's the first step to unleashing your own roar.